Welcome to the Dirty Business Podcast. I am Janelle. I own Vitality Health and Wellness. I'm the health guru here, but we've got Mo, who's our marketing person.
Hi.
And then we've got guru marketing.
Thank you.
But Jeremiah also does marketing, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
You're also SEO, expert.
Local SEO,
I
yeah.
love watching your page. And before we start talking about all the crazy stuff you guys are going to talk about, because I'm not going to be in this podcast that much, I'm just going to be listening and exciting.
Get your notepad. Yeah.
But your business it's on your hat.
Leading local.
Local.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we help local businesses lead the local search results, right?
Amazing. So that's you, buddy.
I'm going to start out with stuff that how I know you, and then you guys can go into all of your SEO stuff that I'm going to be like.
You act like we're going to be speaking Spanish without you.
I'm like,
Oh, cool. You guys know
I'll look
German?
that up later.
Cool.
Can I where's my phone? I need to chat GPT it over here.
Yeah.
You and I met a couple years ago because you are also into tons of health and wellness stuff. You've done cold plunges forever.
Yeah.
You were flipping your house too. I feel like we had a ton of stuff to talk about on that end. And then now I saw your website and it's like, I love following you. But what I really want to talk to you about, and then we can switch to SEO stuff, your glasses.
Oh, my nighttime glasses? My
Yes.
dark
Okay,
orange
so I see
glasses.
people wear them.
Yes.
And I know they're good for blocking out blue light.
Yes.
But I see people wear them during the day. So tell me, I haven't researched it, so I just figured I'd ask you. When should you wear them? Why should you wear them? And by the way, you look super cool in them.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, there's conflicting evidence on it, but I will say anecdotally that if I wear them in the evening time, I find it easier for me to get tired. And also my eyes are dry from staring at a screen all day long.
Yeah.
I have some blue light blocking glasses that are not as intense. So I think the ones you see me wear are like dark orange, right? And they say they block like 70% of the blue light spectrum. And they are terrible for doing anything design worthy at night.
I was going to say, I can't wear those.
Yeah. Well, and then also on my computer, I have...
Because you can't see color.
Yeah.
Right, so it's all orange.
Okay.
So it's great for coding and things like that when you're not having to design, aesthetically pleasing things.
So if you design something for me and be like, did you wear your glasses?
Did you have your glasses
many
on?
times I will design something in the night and I look up the next morning, I'm like, oh crap.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. But I have some that block like 20% to wear during the day, but I have a hard time wearing them during the day.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not used to wearing glasses all the time.
Yeah. Just when you're having them on your face.
Yeah, but then on my phone and on my laptop and my computers, I have the Apple integrated one that changes to orange, but then I also have another one called Flux on top of that. So like in the middle of the night, this thing is so it's just software.
It's just a thing on your phone.
Oh.
So it just blocks the blue light.
To this little guy, and you go night shift.
Okay. And then it darkens
And then
out.
it just changes it to like orange.
Yeah.
So it's
Have
like
you
less
noticed
straining.
a difference wearing them? Because I've wanted to get a
100%.
pair. I just haven't made that jump
It's
yet.
huge for me.
Okay. And this is any light, like around your house,
Yeah, and so they say...
not just computers.
Right. So basically LEDs are a really huge source of blue light now in our houses compared to
And most
if we
of
were
us
using
have LED now.
Yeah, because they outlaw
Okay.
incandescent
That's
lights,
crazy.
right?
Why would they do that?
I switched to red
weird.
lights in my room,
Yeah.
which gives off a really odd vibe. Having red lights in your
Well, and then
room.
LEDs also have a...
I'm like, one of those people?
Yeah.
They have a side effect of it's basically a strobe light,
Oh.
but we don't see it as
Yeah.
much, but it is affecting our nervous system, and so
Yeah.
a lot of the kind of health gurus will say that you should switch to incandescent because it's a calmer light and it doesn't affect your brain waves as
Yeah.
much.
Shouldn't be doing LED, but we want LED. We've all switched to LED because they last longer.
Right.
But now for our brains, it's not.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's similar with like a lot of people will say that their computer screen, causes them eye fatigue, and for the most part, it's because we have switched to LED monitors or like OLED monitors, and so there's this constant flickering that we can't perceive with our brains, but our eyes can perceive it.
Okay.
And so, I mean, yeah, there's a whole rabbit hole of.
But you've noticed like a
thing.
better
We love a rabbit
sleep
hole.
and all these things by switching. What
Yeah.
time do you usually switch?
Well, it kind of depends. Sometimes I'm better at it than others.
Yeah,
You know, usually like if the sun's starting to go down, that's when I'm trying to put them on.
Yeah.
And then
But now the sun's going down so late.
yes, this is true. Basically, like okay, if my kid's gone to bed,
Yeah.
you know, between 8 and 9,
Yeah.
then I put them on.
To do your wind down time.
Yeah, and I mean, ideally, like I shouldn't even be on the computer, but you know how that is.
Yeah.
You know, work is like everywhere.
Yeah, we get
so
obsessed.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But-
All right. Well, I'm excited and I'm going to try them. But that was my main question for you
Yeah.
on the health and wellness side.
Well, and I will say too, with those glasses, there's definitely a market that is
Like, are there better
very
ones
expensive.
than others?
So,
I feel like you could easily buy some that are not legit, right?
But are they
So-
actually blocking and how do you know?
That's what I mean.
Right.
Like, how do you know which ones are really going to help you?
so the ones I bought are like $20 ones from Amazon,
Okay.
and
And they work fine.
They work fine, and they did come with like a little card that like you know you're supposed to be able to like if you can't see these letters, then it's blocking the blue light. But then my fiance bought the like really expensive ones. I can't remember what brand they were, but one of like the main name brands out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say it is darker, but not enough for me to be like, is it worth like 5x the price?
Mhm.
I don't know. Like start with the $20 pair, see if it makes a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely I've seen some people like saying these don't even do anything, and I'm like, well, I know it helps me. Like
Yeah.
if my eyes are dry at the end of the
Mhm.
day because I've been staring at a screen and not blinking enough,
Yeah.
then it helps me to not have as dry of eyes in the evening time, and it also just makes me more tired. And then
Yeah.
you should get the ones that are like take up a little bit more room around the eyes.
Sure. So it's not coming in.
Exactly. Yeah.
As we have all of these LED lights
Right.
around us.
It's daytime.
It's daytime,
We should have
right?
all wore our glasses.
And they say too, like if you're flying somewhere and you're switching time zones, that it's good. It like helps you with that transition.
That would make sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. That was my big thing
Fancy.
that I was excited to ask you
Yeah.
about because you are also a health and wellness guru with. So I love picking your
I
brain
try.
about
I
all
mean,
that stuff.
it's been it's taken a back burner. Business is
Yeah.
kind of and families kind
That's
Welcome
That
to our lives.
of yeah.
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 But the stuff and all the other stuff that Mo's going to ask you now, I'm very excited about. So
I actually, on the light flickering situation,
Yeah.
I actually saw somebody take a video. I think she recorded it in slow-mo
Mhm.
of just her kitchen light. And when on the playback, it was flickering
And
was
that's
like-
happening all the time.
Yeah.
We don't even know.
all day. I was like, this is why I don't turn lights on in my house. My husband loves turning lights on. I'm like, turn it off. Because I don't know why. I feel extra angsty when all the lights are on. I'm like, oh my God.
okay,
Now I know why.
So we're homeschool moms,
Yeah.
but one of my big things when my kid was going to school is I sent him with blue light blocking glasses. They're not yellow, but they are blue light blocking.
Yeah.
Because they're on the computer a lot more than he is at home. They wouldn't let him wear them because it wasn't a prescription.
Oh.
And I was like, well, you have whatever those lights are in schools. Those are
Fluorescent, yeah.
also terrible too.
Yeah.
And it blocks out fluorescent light too. So I'm like,
Yeah.
he likes to wear them.
That's wild
It's
that they
better
wouldn't
for
let him.
But they're like, you don't have a prescription, so you can't wear them.
Well, luckily, our children have prescriptions, so we have the blue light blockers. But still, this
And
is
I'm
why you
like-
don't send your kids to school. Don't send your kid to school.
I feel that.
How old your kiddo?
Like going on 19 months now.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So
Don't send your kids to
fun.
school.
Yeah, don't send them to school. That's it. That's our TED Talk.
We won't judge you if you do.
No. I mean, in another world, I have a conspiracy podcast, so it's
Oh,
yeah,
On the black market.
yeah, basically.
let's tap
On the
into
black
that.
market.
Yeah, we love a
I'll
conspiracy.
ask you guys how to get to the black web later. Because I don't know how.
I don't know how either. Never
Okay.
heard of her. Okay.
About SEO stuff.
Yeah. So I learned about all of this kind of like in a sideways thing through school, through college with computer science and all of that stuff. Well, okay. So it's like going to a Spanish class. If you're not using it all the time, you're going to forget all the things.
Yeah.
So I wasn't using like all of those fundamentals that I learned until I made businesses. And then I needed to know these things for like my websites and how to get my products seen and like all that stuff. So if somebody like us is running everything on their own, as most business owners do, what would be your biggest tip for them to be able to tap into the SEO without knowing everything like you?
Well, yeah, it's like, how do you distill it down to like the most essential? The Google Business Profile is like your 80/20, especially for local businesses. If you're not serving a local audience, then it's like a whole different can of worms. But for local businesses, if people are searching near me, you know, whatever service it is, the Google Business Profile is going to be like the thing that you should master. The website definitely plays into that. You know, Google crawls the website to correlate what the Google Business Profile should be ranking for. But I would say most businesses are sleeping on reviews, and getting consistent reviews. Definitely, like, you know, some businesses will have, you know, 50 to 100 reviews, but the last review was like 2 years ago. And having that kind of velocity of consistent reviews is a good indicator to Google. And then, like, having the profile optimized, and I know that's like a fancy word that's like, what the hell does that actually mean? But essentially, like, filling out all the boxes that Google gives you. You know, like, sometimes there'll be businesses where so with the Google Business Profile, essentially what we're talking about is, like, if you go to Google Maps and you type in your business name, then you get this, like, you know, profile that has your reviews on it, your services, photos, location, or service area. And you get the option to add one or more business categories. And two mistakes I see often are either the business has selected the wrong category for the business. A lot of times it'll just be like service provider. You're like, cool. What does that mean? You're competing with everybody else. Or they are not selecting the, like, enough categories. So, you know, if somebody is like we'll say a mechanic. So there's like auto repair shop, mechanic, auto tune-up, brake shop, oil change shop. And so being able to select all of those categories,
like, very specific.
Yeah, and then setting your primary category as your main thing. One thing that's kind of like a tip that people use is, if you're an HVAC company, you do heating and you do air conditioning. So in the wintertime, you change the primary to heating.
Tricky.
And then you change that, you know, in the summertime to air conditioning. And then underneath your categories, you have the option to add specific services. And what a lot of people do is either they don't fill out those services and then just let Google crawl the website, and then it will sometimes add in those services under the category. Or they will just select a few things. So basically, when you go to create that business category or select the business category, it'll give you some, like, options to click on to say, like, oh yes, I provide this service, you know, I do oil changes and brake jobs. And then they just say next. And you have the option to add specific services. So you can type in the services, and so you can get very specific with that. And then you can also add descriptions to the services. And that's the one thing that I see people miss a lot, is there's room for like 250 characters in this description box. And on Google Maps on your phone, users can click on services and see that. And fancy. So you're able to, you know, help convert those customers because they're able to read your services and see what exactly that entails. And you can also add a price range to it, or you can add no price. Kind of depends on, you know, your specific service. If it makes sense to put a price there, then you should. Or you can put a starting at price. Or like what I like to do is, you know, if the company offers a free inspection, then we're going to put free inspection as a service, and then we're going to put the price as free. So that way it's just like you're trying to give as many signals as possible to not only Google, but then also to your users who are going to come to the profile. Because there's so much data that Google's using based off the interactions people have on your profile. Like if people are looking through your profile and clicking on things, looking at photos. So if you're uploading a lot of photos, if they're looking through reviews, all of that ties back to Google to say this is a good business.
Yeah. The people are interested and you're providing them their information.
100%. Yeah. I mean,
also maps. I guess I didn't realize that people search for businesses on maps.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been open for 3 years now. And just like 3 months ago, I wasn't even on iPhone maps because I don't have an iPhone. So I didn't even think about that. So I had to have someone with an iPhone actually figure it out. But I didn't realize that was a big search engine is maps.
Yes.
So I wasn't even on there.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm on there.
Well, you need to do that.
Well, so in Apple Maps, we'll take a lot of data from Yelp.
Okay.
I'm not on there either.
Well, I am a little bit on Yelp. The hard part is you say the be on all these things, but it's people can also message you on all those platforms and trying to keep up with all the messages.
Right.
Is difficult too. And then you have Yelp reviews and Google reviews, and then you have your scheduling platform has reviews and
yes. Yeah. No, it definitely
I
can
wish
be
they would
a
all
lot.
just you could bring them all to one.
Yeah, I mean there are some CRMs that can help bring some of those together. With Google last year they removed the Google chat, which was kind of nice because there would be a lot of times where you'd get a lead in there, but then you wouldn't have any way to contact them.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Because they would have to go into Google
Sounds
Maps
like a
and
good
chat.
idea.
Yeah. And in reality, unless somebody left their phone number when they're in the Google chat, you don't really have a way to follow up with them.
Yeah.
So now they're testing out text messaging and WhatsApp through Google Business Profiles.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I haven't actually seen it in practice yet, but you can add a textable number and you can add a WhatsApp, but I have not actually seen it on the front end for customers in the US anyways yet.
Interesting.
So we'll see how that goes. It's also there's a whole
text
rabbit hole with legal compliance
text message
regulations with businesses texting customers. And so how Google's going to be approaching that, because is Google going to have when you click on it, is it going to say that you authorize to send text messages?
Yeah, all the disclaimers and stuff.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, there's a huge moat of legal mumbo jumbo that you have to jump through right now to have a business that is texting customers, unless you're just using a cell phone.
Yeah.
But if you're using any sort of software that is an application to peer, A2P is the terminology used there.
Yeah. I was using one and it didn't really require much. It just said, did this person? And I'm yeah, they did.
Right.
And there was actually, and I could say they did on my end. They didn't actually have to say they did on their end.
Right.
Which I'm well, what's the point of that in the first place?
Yeah, I mean.
So maybe they're changing it now.
Yeah, so there's, it's, I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not your lawyer, right? But there's basically the legal hole is that either you have to be able to prove that they gave consent either in person, on a written form or in some other software.
I feel if you give me your number, you're giving me permission. So
yes.
Don't give me your number.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want your number here.
Yeah. But then if you have a web form, a contact form, you have to have a checkbox that says I authorize to receive, and now you have to have 2 checkboxes to say one for marketing messages and one for just communication. And then you, as the business owner, have to be able to prove that they are the ones who put that information in there, and have there's an entire industry just towards compliance of taking a screenshot of the website at the time that was captured and the IP address and everything. Because, okay, what if I took your phone number and put it on this form and now you're getting spam text messages, but you didn't actually authorize it? It was somebody else using your phone number.
Yeah.
And so that's why you as a business owner have to be able to be no, this IP address, put in this phone number.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. I mean, it's yeah.
Run a business, they said.
Yeah.
So Google Ads. I ran a Google ad a long time ago. And I, just like when I started my business, and I actually watched one of your Instagrams that was like, make sure all your names are the same everywhere. Like you had all these little great, just small tips. And I was like, oh, that's smart. And so I went in there and made sure all my things matched, and some of them didn't, because when you're first starting a business, you have a massive list of things to do. And Google is like, oh, I got to be on Google. So you just like quickly throw it together, which is fine so that people can see your numbers, see your address. But then it's like, you should go back and do the things that you're saying, or have one of you guys do it, because it's like, it's important. Google ads, I did the same thing. I was like, oh, Google ads are important. So I just like threw one out there. It didn't do well. So then recently I actually spent the time to do what you're saying, is like fill in all the boxes and use as many words as you possibly can. And actually, like, you know, if you have 250 words or characters, like use them. And so I actually spent like 2 hours making this Google ad. And I also made it about feelings, not about, I usually make things about, oh, lower inflation or facts.
No, people operate on their feelings.
People operate off feelings.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, do you want a community, or you know, are you feeling depressed and you want to boost your, you know, or do you want this, whatever. It was all,
do you want to be my friend?
we make friends here. Anyways, I actually took the time to do it. I did it off of feelings. Obviously, I used ChatGPT to help me on some things, and put it out there for a week just to see how it would do. And I gave it a bunch of money. I was like, sure, let's see how this does. And what was it? It was like 55,000 people saw it, and I got like 77 clicks in like 4 days, which I never had an ad. And you're going to be like, that's not that great. But to me, that was great. And maybe if you guys did it, it would probably be better. But I was like, because I was under the impression Google ads just didn't do anything. And I think because I just wasn't doing it right.
Right. I mean, that's kind of the story for everything, right? Like everything works if you know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
But I was impressed.
Well, and so then my question is,
and I freaked out to know, I was like, my website wasn't ready and I had 77 clicks and they didn't get any messages. So I paused it, and then now we're going to like do the lead thing, and then I'll re-put it out there again.
right? Because that was going to be my question is, okay, you got all these clicks, but where's the dollar signs at?
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's what really matters.
Yeah.
And
Or
that's
even
where,
all those views and only that many clicks.
Yeah. I mean,
55,000 views.
Yeah. And a big,
Text message.
like,
He's like, so that's bad.
so
You think your numbers are good, but they're actually
the
terrible.
reason
was
I
awful.
don't like paid ads a whole lot. And there's a few different reasons for that.
Yeah.
I like organic search a lot
Amen.
better.
Yeah.
For one, it doesn't cost as much. I mean, obviously, if you're paying an SEO, that's one thing, but it's usually much better qualified leads.
So where am I supposed to be putting my money?
Well,
There.
yeah. I mean, so there's kind of like the broad market formula. You've got the idea of you have, you know, like 3% of the audience is ready to buy right now, right? They're searching cryotherapy near me. Boom, they're ready to buy. Versus you've got like a longer tail of people who are in information gathering mode. So they're like, oh, this looks kind of interesting. Maybe I'll, you know, check it out, see what's going on.
Yeah.
And then you've got, you know, the market underneath that is totally unaware.
Yeah.
So you've kind of got this huge market of people, and with local search and with local SEO, you're focusing on that 3% that's ready to buy right now. And then beyond that is where social media comes in, and where you're more educating people. And, you know, part of that is using your website and your social media together, so that if somebody comes to your website, then you're retargeting them with ads later on to like re-engage them if they didn't buy or they didn't book, to continue to nurture them to book. But with paid ads, you know, you've got an issue of
Text
a lot
message.
of times you have people putting up paid ads, and then they're getting clicks from not even their local area, right? Or they're getting clicks for their competitor. So you have to like go in and like monitor the negative keywords that you don't want to be targeting, because you're showing up for something that's not even relevant to what you're trying to show up for. Or people are running like PMAX ads which are basically Google's way to spend your money even faster. That's how I see it anyways. Because it's like showing it in Gmail and like on all these other sites. And
for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, it's if you want broad market branding, then sure, it's great for that to like get your name out there and like, if you want to be Coca-Cola, right? And like basically just have your name
Forever.
Coke everywhere.
Yeah. Versus like this small town.
Yeah. And like, small businesses need to be super effective with their budget because they need $1 in and $2 out. And branding is a long play, and it's important to do, and it's good for Google also and good for local SEO. But
Text message.
For the most part, you want to be focused on the highest converting first. So those local search ads, or like you can do pay-per-click ads for. In some cases, you can do local service ads, which are super duper effective, but they're only available for certain business categories in Google. Those are basically like when you see like the Google guarantee at the top, you type in like plumber near me, and there's like 3 that are like Google guaranteed and like insurance bonded.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, and those are super effective because businesses are only paying when somebody calls.
Love it.
Versus, the other ones where like somebody clicked and you're like, well,
Where'd they go?
There
goes $5.
Yeah, right? Or 20 or 100, depending on where it's at. And then the other part of it is making sure that you have really good tracking on your website so that did somebody that came in through this ad, where'd they go? Did they get stuck somewhere? And like, I love watching screen recordings of website visitors.
Yeah, you had mentioned something about that, and I was like, ooh, I want to see how you can do that.
Yeah.
How do you do that again?
So Microsoft Clarity is free. Yeah.
Big fan.
Big fan over here.
I appreciate that. So Microsoft Clarity is free. There's a bunch of other tools that do it. Hotjar is one that was really popular, but it's pretty expensive. But Microsoft Clarity is free, and you install the code just like you would with Google Analytics, and then you can watch the visitors, how they interact with the site. Typically, it'll show you where they came from. So, did they come from social media? Did they come from Google? And it's really nice to see, like, did somebody get hung up somewhere, right? Did they, like, go to the home page and then they were kind of lost where to go? Did they go to the menu? To see that path and to find the roadblocks, basically.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is that what you like, stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning watching?
Sometimes. There's times definitely where I'm like, I need to see what's going on here.
That's such a handy tool, because I feel like even knowing all the things to do with a website, I'm still like, okay, but where are they going? Like, even if you have it set up exactly how you think you should, somebody somewhere is still going to fall off. And then you're like,
100%.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
But at least knowing that and being able to watch it in real time and know where they fell off, then you're like, okay, well, I won't do that in the future, and I'll make that more clear, or I'll make a button for that, or whatever.
Yeah. The thing I've learned with web design and things like that is, like, you never underestimate how dumb people are.
Literally.
Like, I'm like, one of the books is like, Don't Make Me Think. And you can think that you have this like perfectly laid out roadmap, and then you put it in front of somebody and they don't even look at it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's the same thing as like if you were a shop owner or like a grocery store owner and you were watching from a bird's eye view of people going through the store, like that would change how you set up displays, right? It's kind of the same thing of like, you need to build it and then you need to see how people are actually interacting with it, because what you have visioned is going to be totally different than what is reality. And especially, mobile phones, 80% of your traffic is going to be coming from there, most likely. And so making sure it's optimized for that, because it looks great on desktop and like the path seems super clear there, but then on mobile, you've got to strip everything down.
And as like a business owner, like she came in and like changed my website because I did as well as I could with the little knowledge that I had with WordPress. But for me as a business owner, I'm so attached to it and I'm so attached to the product that I'm like, but it needs to say this and this and that. But then if you put that on mobile version, it's like you're scrolling for freaking days. And nobody, like you said, nobody has, for one, the attention span for that. And they're not smart enough to even find it. But I had to have it all on there because it's important to me. But she's like, no.
Yeah.
Get rid of that.
Yeah.
Have
you
that as
definitely have
drop
to.
downs. Have that as,
Like there if they want it, but not
button for a
but
new
not
page.
there
Yeah.
for them to have to like filter through everything, because people are, as soon as, even me, if I have to read something, I'm like, I'm not reading that.
Yeah.
Just tell me what I need to know. Where's the button? Just give me the button so I can figure it out.
Yeah.
And
And on
that's it.
desktop, it looks so pretty because it's like
Yeah, you got a lot more
all
room.
these columns and you can fit a bunch of information on a desktop. But like you're saying,
Yeah.
people are looking on their phones and then you're just scrolling through.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that comes back to a big mistake I see on websites is having way too many calls to action. So basically, like, you should have one main thing that you're driving people towards, like whether it's calling you, submitting a form, booking an appointment, and like literally every button needs to be the same color, saying go here, take this action, and like you need to lay it out as simply as possible.
Yeah.
And then everything else can be like muted.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's 2 more sentences, by the way, book now. Here's another 2 sentences. Hey,
Yes.
book now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, just go ahead and book. Yeah,
Yeah.
quit reading and just book. Yeah.
We'll
A
figure it out when
great
you get here.
resource that I like is Building a Story Brand. Or is it Story Brand? I think it's Building a Story Brand. And I mean, he's like, you need to make it so that every viewpoint there is a button to take an action. So that way, at any point, if you sold them, they need to be able to take the action right then and there versus like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And then them having to go find the button.
Yeah.
Like they need to be able to press the button as soon as they make that connection that they want to take action.
That was definitely something that I figured out and changed with not just my website, but your website, because you and I are very long-winded and we have so much to say about our products and services. And Chat, my bestie, I was like, hey, build me the layout for my homepage or services page, like make it make sense so that I can make it make sense for everybody else. And every single section had a call to action. The same thing, like book a consult. But it was like so many repetitive like reminders to book, which I get annoyed by that,
Totally.
but I'm not my client. Like I'm not my ideal client.
Right.
I'm annoyed by it because I see it all the time and I know those things already. But like normal people, they're like, oh, where am I supposed to book? What do I do now?
Yes.
Okay. So if you just pop it in there, and AI did that over and over and over, like 6 or 7 book now buttons. I was like, okay, what? You were the boss.
You're smarter than I.
Sure. Sounds great.
Yeah. No, it definitely has gotten better at that aspect of it.
Mhm.
And I mean, you can even tell ChatGPT to follow the story brand framework.
Oh.
And like the story brand framework is you are the guide and your customer is the hero. And you're just guiding them to whatever their hero's
Even
journey
something
is.
as dumb as I get an invoice from a lot of people. I mean, I've ranted and raved about how annoying invoices are. For one, some people send invoices or they send paper invoices to your email with no button to
I hate
click
that.
to pay. It's like, I want to pay you, but if you're going to make it difficult for me that I have to call you or email you back, I'm pissed.
Or write you a check and drop it off.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my God. I had someone come to my work and ask for a check. I was like, bro, you got to get with the times. Or even as small as they put the click button in their bunch of words that I'm not going to read, right? They sent me an email with a bunch of words I'm not going to read. And I guess the click button was in there somewhere. And they're like, it was there. And I'm like, yeah, you need to make it like big and bold.
It
and
needs
a
to take
color.
up half of the page.
It says pay
Or its own
here.
page.
Like just
Yeah.
things like that though. Like as the user, you need to make it super easy for me if you want to get paid.
Yeah.
Because I want to pay you. It's just click, pay. My card's in my phone, which probably shouldn't be. And often we're on with our day. But like, you really do have to make it like, stop using
Dumb.
so many words.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just push the big bullet, what you want me to do. You want me to pay? Make it say pay.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, we've got short attention spans and also we have, like, people are busy, right?
Mhm.
Like, you're competing with all of this other noise.
Yeah.
And you have to make it so that, like, you want to make it the experience where they come on your website and you make it as effortless, as easy as possible for them, because like their kids screaming in the background while they're trying to do this thing, and they're like, I just need to hurry up and find the button.
They have
to
literally
book.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until they have to address the screams.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you can just like keep that in the back of your mind of like trying to just like trim the fat, make it easy. And then it's also hard though, because it's like with SEO, sometimes you have to be long-winded, and like you've got to build out all the structure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of like a give and take there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, adding
It's
in
also
extra
much.
words that don't need to be there, but they need to optimize the keywords in your.
So Google Ads is pay-per-click.
Okay.
So that's basically when somebody types in a query on Google,
Mm-hmm.
and if there's an ad there, you're paying every time somebody clicks on that ad.
Mm.
And so pay-per-click can either be Google Ads, Bing Ads, Yelp Ads,
Okay.
all those sorts of things.
Got
can
it.
be. Versus
And that's
like
what makes
Facebook
sure
is
you're at the
impressions.
top.
Yeah, so
Like
so
when
that,
people search it, it's like, boom, this is your guy.
so that's if you're running ads, you'll
Uh-huh.
be number one, right?
Uh-huh.
And then underneath that is the organic results.
Mm.
Or what you can do is if there's multiple people running ads,
Mm-hmm.
you can have a little bit lower budget and show up like number 2,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're not having to pay the extra premium to be number 1,
Mm-hmm.
which statistically, if you are number 2, you're going to be paying cheaper per lead, and
People actually click it more.
not necessarily click more, but it's more cost effective
Mm.
because you're not paying the premium, but you're still getting more.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're still getting more than you would if you weren't paying ads, but then it's like it kind of makes it so that it's way more cost effective versus trying to be like the number 1 spot.
Does it tell you if you're number 1 or not?
So it should, in reports, it should tell you as far as like what spot, what placement it was.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't believe in ads. People always look at me sideways when I say that, but I just have this conspiracy theory that every time you pay any platform for views, they're going to expect that you're going to continue to pay to get those views. So I just, like, I have clients come to me and they're like, okay, and how much are we going to spend on ads? I'm like, nothing. You're going to spend money on a photographer, on video, and we're going to use that and what I know, and we're going to pump it out and make sure it's solid with the SEO, with everything. We're not going to pay Google to show your stuff. We're going to make it show your stuff so that even when you're not paying, you're still showing up. People think I'm crazy.
No, I mean, you're definitely not crazy.
Thank you. Tell my husband.
But I won't say that you'll get necessarily punished.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks she's going to get punished.
I think
I mean,
I'm in trouble.
I think that Facebook is definitely terrible with this.
Punishing.
Where like, you know, as soon as and they also make it so that when you first start a page and you first start putting out content, then you get like some good reach, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you didn't get as much reach. Maybe you should boost this post.
Literally. Try this feature. Pay us
yes.
money.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
But with Google, sometimes you'll see actually like a positive SEO
Oh, that's cute.
effect.
You don't know how to use an iPhone.
I don't.
You'll see a little bit of increase with local SEO because
I won't say
Like it helped establish that for you
with
with the traffic?
It can help to build your brand,
Mm-hmm.
which if more people are searching for your brand
Mhm.
on Google, that's going to help your local SEO and other
Interesting.
efforts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of ads. I don't like how, a competitor can click on your ads and there goes your money.
Those
Um,
bitches. I didn't even
If
think
I'm
about that.
researching, I know. If I'm searching somebody, I make sure not to click on the sponsored ad because I'm already going to their website and I don't want them to be charged. Now that I know that the sponsored ads,
Yeah.
it's my little way of saving people a couple bucks. But
Yeah.
it's like,
You're like,
you're
I'm a
already going to
good
go to their
person.
website. Yeah. Don't click on their sponsored ad because you're already going there.
Because that charges them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, how many times I've heard a few times where people are like, yeah, I told all my family and friends about my website, and then they were clicking my ad because they're like, oh, I clicked on you, you're number 1. It's
You're like, no, everybody
that
send me
costs money."
$5 on Venmo.
I'm gonna charge you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's so easy because if you do have the ad, it's like right under that should be your organic website link.
Yeah.
So you have both of those
you have other
spots.
sponsored people ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing that's kind of annoying is if you have, like I have a client where if you type in their brand name, a competitor shows up with their sponsored ad, and I'm like, you bastards. Yeah, they're trying.
Tricky.
I mean, part of it is because the name has the keyword in it.
But
it's
still.
it's still a little distasteful, right?
Tricky.
Yeah.
Huh.
But statistically, more people click on the organic results anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I actually sometimes scroll through all the sponsored stuff just to get to authentic things.
Yes, that's my thing. I don't want to click on an ad because I don't want to feel, I don't want to feel
so sold.
Yes, I don't want to feel like I got by an ad.
I paid to be there and I don't like it. So I'm going to try to search more authentic.
Yep.
So that's my brain too. But that just maybe because
you know how they got there.
Know how they got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people have
an idea.
Yeah, they see sponsored or they see ad and they want to go to the next. But Google makes it like every few months they try to make it a little bit more inconspicuous of like, this isn't an ad.
Yeah. Yeah. Tiniest little sponsored next to it. Super tiny, faded. Yeah.
So one thing for websites for local businesses is, I mean, for one, you should figure out what people are searching, right? So in Google, in the Google Business Profile, you can see what people are searching for and how you're showing up. You can see what people are typing in to find you. And then you want to have a Google Search Console, which is going to show you how your website is showing up. And a big thing you should look for is if in the Google Search Console, you'll be able to see impressions, which is basically like how many times was your website showing up in the Google search results. And if you have high impressions, but your ranking, like your positioning is low or you're not getting clicks, then that's something you should focus on, because that means you're probably showing up like on the bottom of the first page or maybe the second page. And a lot of times it's like you're showing up low for a service that you offer, but you don't have that service on your website.
Oh.
And so you should have a service page for every single service that is correlated with the Google Business Profile, right? So you've got your Google Business category, and then you got your services underneath that. And if this is a service that people are typing in for and like searching for actively, then you should have a specific page on that.
Oh,
a full page?
A full page for each service. Yes.
Not just a service page.
100%.
All right.
Son of a bee.
Because you...
So I guess I know what I'm doing later.
Yes. So like, example would be,
can we have a service page and then a page off of that page?
So
it's like a main service page, that cryotherapy, cold plunge, sauna, and then they can click that page to learn more about it.
Yes. So in your case, you would have your services page, which then, you have like our services, and then you've got different sections for each of the specific services, and then a button or a link on the heading to that specific page. So like cryotherapy, Medford, Oregon.
Nice.
And then have that in each of those as a service page. Because then basically it's going to make it so that Google will serve that page when somebody searches. And a lot of times...
I don't like this podcast.
I'm done here.
And what can be frustrating though is you can build that page, and with local search, you build that page and it still ranks the home page. And you're like, well, why did I build this page if Google's not even showing it?
Yeah.
But Google knows that typically people like to see the home page for local services. And so even though that local service page isn't ranking on Google, it's still driving it up on the homepage.
Interesting. Okay. Can people work with you? Like, can people hire you to help them with their stuff?
Yeah. So I mainly help blue collar, service-based industries, and everything's on a month-to-month service. So there's no like huge, thousands of dollars up front, anything like that. So, and within 3 to 6 months, we'll be dominating. Usually we see results like in a month, but not like, we'll be number one in a year, basically.
Yeah. That's worth it.
When did you start this business?
I've always freelanced web design. And back in like 2014, I had my first freelance client, got burnt out because I got $2,500, and I thought I was like the richest man ever, right? Because I was like, oh my God, they said yes. And then, you know, probably made like less than minimum wage on the job.
Literally. We've been there.
Yeah. You know, and I was like, forget this. So I took a sabbatical from it. And then it was actually when I was working at Northwest Raw in Ashland. I was the sous chef there. And the manager at the time found out that I had this past experience. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. No. They're like, we need a new website. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that again.
I'm not dealing with people.
Yeah. But they convinced me. And so I built their website, and then that kind of like reignited my passion for it. And then
Just charge more.
Well, yeah. And I mean,
to make
part
up
of
for
it
the time.
was I was like, okay, you're going to pay me hourly.
Yeah.
And it's going to take as long as it takes. You know, it's not going to be project based, just because I didn't want to get burned.
Yeah.
And then also too, like at that time, that was probably like 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. Like the tools were becoming much easier, and also there was just like more information available. But then I started leading local 2 years ago. Before that, it was Spare Web Studio. But I was kind of doing everything. Like, it didn't matter what platform you were on. I would just like do
That
strategy.
sounds awful.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I was like, this is not scalable.
Right.
So kind of pivoted and
Yeah.
yeah.
Love it. We didn't get too nerdy for you, right?
No, it was great. Actually,
Yeah, you actually
I
could
loved
follow it, I feel like.
I did.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about your Instagram too. You're doing a great job. So everyone follow him on Instagram, because you give out very easy to understand tidbits on how to optimize things. And obviously the more, even I tried to do my own website and Instagram and all these things, and you can get by, and you help people like get by, but essentially you need to hire someone that, like you guys, that knows the ins and outs, because you can't do everything on your own, and nor do you need to be an expert in all this stuff.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like I don't do my own taxes.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh
like,
my God,
because
me neither.
I don't want to do that.
I do.
You should not do your own taxes.
That
I
sounds
just
like a
called her the
nightmare.
other day, and I was like, my tax guy actually told me to not take $30,000 in write-off. So you need my tax guy. But anyways, like you can get by. You can start your business and start your Google page, and you can get by and start your website and all these things. But really, you do need someone to optimize it, make it better.
Yeah, as soon
Whatever
as you want to
optimizing
scale, that's when you need to hire a professional to put that system in place for you. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to scale.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can get it going, but at the end of the day, just hire someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make the phone ring and then do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Every time I've ever hired someone in web design, all the things, it's always paid off. So
Yeah.
Yay.
That's it.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, see you next time on the Dirty Business Podcast.
whoop,
Whoop, whoop.